Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website is teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv. A good friend of mine, Mike Babka, passed away recently. And, I don't get up to Grand Rapids as much as I used to. I used to basically live at Groton Raceway, and I would visit Mike and Grace all the time at Mike's cycle station. So I'm going to go back in the past. I'm going to dig out some dirt track footage from I-96 Speedway. And we look at some of the footage, some of the racing. There's going to be a couple shows I'm going to condense together. So in the next 24 minutes, we're going to show the highlights, racing, dirt track racing in the 1990s. And I think we see some great footage, and we'll get to see how great. And I have to say right now, Mike ice raced, flat tracked, ran off-road, and he was better than me in all three. He was a great motorcycle racer. He didn't pursue a professional career racing. He opened up that shop. He did Mike's Cycle Station for many years, and I've spent many, many, many great hours in his shop. And don't forget my website, teamchicago.tv.
For the state championship half mile for the state of Michigan, a lot of these riders, the riders had to qualify during the year to get invited to this event, so there are no heat races. This is just the final events, and the top 12 riders automatically get gridded. If they don't show up, there's alternate riders that can be moved up.
Bryan Smith, 28 is Casey Harris, 89 is Doug Lawrence. Those four riders finished 1, 2, 3, 4 here in District 14 this summer, and there they are, right back out of the racetrack. Bryan Smith into the big lead here, going down that back straightaway, but this is a 10-lap final. It's a long ways to race on these little 50cc machines. But there's Bryan Smith with Justin Humphreys staying right behind him, looking for any little slip-up. Doug Lawrence running third.
I think it's great finding this footage of Bryan Smith at 9 years old racing his 50cc motorcycle on his half-mile track. Bryan Smith went on to be the Grand National Champion in 2016. He has won over 20-mile events, which would be similar to him racing the small bike on a half-mile. He won 33 Grand National Championship events, and it is just great to have this footage of the young Bryan Smith racing at I-96 Speedway. And now we're looking at the veterans class. We're going to see my good friend Mike Babka racing in this class for riders between 30 and 40 years old. Let's turn it over to Tom Batista calling this race.
Down, and there they go, 3 wide, 4 wide, there's 3 and 4, but you're there after 1 lap. Mike Babka. Mark Davidson continues to lead, Mike Babka in second. Moving up, looking for a second. Babka puts up on the groove a little bit, and Dave Goldman moves into second. Mark Davidson trying to keep it smooth. That's the fastest player on his racetrack. It's no problem. Babka around the high side. They're 3-1. 3-4. Who's it going to be this time, Brian? Holds all the way back to Smith on that pass. Mike Davidson on the lead. And Eugene Pope is over for third, but it's still Randy Byers running third. We've got a 5-8 for the lead. Mike Davidson. Second corner, looking to pass again. On the third screen. Davidson powers out and the white flag is out. We got 5 riders. On the lead on the inside. Davidson in the middle. Moves into second. Here we go for the finish.
We're with Mike Babka from Comstock Park, which is just north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Mike is the owner of Mike's Cycle Station, who provides all the information anybody wants to call him about dirt track racing and now ice racing. You are the Ice Race Information Center for West Michigan, right?
Ice racing is coming up soon, sooner than we think, and by today.
Well, I was talking to Tom Batista from I-96, and he's talking about flooding that short track and doing some Saturday night ice racing. We'll put that information on the end of the show, and I'm going to try to get up here one Saturday night. I think that's a good idea, racing under the lights.
Yeah, it'll be fun, different.
Yeah, if we get some cold weather.
Oh, I think we're going to get cold weather this year. It's already cold enough.
Okay, so how many years have you been dirt tracking? What's your, how long has this gone back?
Since about 75.
And do you just do it for fun now, or is there?
Oh yeah, it's just fun.
I mean, there's really, you're not in it for the money anymore.
Money? There is no money in this. It's just fun.
Okay, but do you think your racing helps with the shop? I think that attracts people to your motorcycle shop.
Oh yeah, a little bit. You know, we get customers that want to come out and see it and say, "Oh man, I can't believe how you guys do this."
Yeah.
It's definitely fun and attracts a lot of customers. But yeah.
Okay. So why don't you tell me about the classes you run? Why don't you explain a little bit about you're running that? Tell me you're running 2 classes.
2 classes tonight. One is the 500A, and the other one is a veteran, which is 30 to 40.
500A. How do you become an A rider?
You got to run the B class. We begin with the B class, and then if you're in like the top 15% of the B class, they advance you to the A class automatically. Or if you've been in the B class so many years and petition it to move to the A class, they'll do it that way.
Okay, but some riders, they push them out and make them run A, and other riders can choose to run A if they want.
Right, you got to earn it. If you do get in the top 15%, you're automatically moved to the A class.
Okay, now in the A class though, they do have some payback at some tracks, don't they?
Not really. Mainly it's all trophy stuff.
Yeah. So how many more years do you intend to be doing this?
That's a good question. Hard telling.
Now we're looking at the 500A class. A great battle developing up front between Bryan Borgman, 32X, and Mike Babka. Borgman is on a 500cc Yamaha. Mike is on a 500cc Honda. Both of these bikes are the engines are in racing frames. Young Bryan Borgman put in a great performance at the I-96 600cc National in the Pro-Am support class. Bryan's a little younger than Mike, but Mike's got more experience racing on this hard groove track at I-96 Speedway. But it looks like young Bryan Borgman's going to pick up the win. Mike Babka finishes second. Now we're going to jump to 1993.
We're out here at I-96 Speedway, and this is the first half-mile event of the year, I think, out here, and I'm not sure, but I'm out here racing. I took my Triumph out of storage. This motor hasn't run in 10 years. Last year I took it by Expert Psycho. That's Bob Goodpasture in Hobart, Indiana. He got this thing running. I had a little problem with the mag, cleaned the carburetors. I know the thing fires up. I don't know how good it's going to run tonight, but I'm going to be running in vintage class, and we're going to see how it goes. But also we're going to be looking at some of the final events out here at I-96.
First race we get a chance to take a look at, 500A class, the heat race. Jumping out front, let's see if we can make that number out. Second place is like Mike Babka. Mike moving on the inside. Mike Babka just moved on the inside. It's like Tim Danke from Battle Creek was out front, but Mike Babka, number 38, he's from Comstock Park, Michigan. But hot on his heels now on a 2-stroke Honda. Mike's running a 4-stroke. Number 42, that's Steve Charles from New Baltimore, and he's on a 2-stroke. Now they're going to allow 2-stroke motors to run against the 4-stroke motors, as long as they're, and even in the pro class, they're going to let these 500 singles. So as you can see, they make as much power as the 4 cycles and maybe a little bit more. In the meantime, third place is like Tim Danke, and he's from Battle Creek. Fourth place, like Phil Greening from Wheeling. And fifth place is Mike Bedell from Rockford. We watch Mike Babka from Mike's Cycle Station in Comstock Park, Michigan. Really pouring on the coals here at I-96 Speedway on this beautiful grooved up half mile. If you like a groove, this is one of the best grooves around. The crew from Wyoming Public Access that brought out their production truck so we could do this multiple camera shoot. I gave them a hand laying out equipment. So watch Mike Babka going down the back straightaway. Looks like he's going to pick up the win. Mike Babka first place, second place was Stephen Charles. So look at another one of the volunteers from Wyoming. 3 camera shoot, 1 on top of the announcer's booth and 2 on either end. Now, the race I've been waiting for, getting this Triumph out of storage, a Cycle World Triumph. Haven't raced this thing in 10 years. As I think back, could be a little bit more. And to tell you, quite honestly, I was a little bit nervous. It's different going ice racing than it is riding on this hard dirt. But as I looked around, looked at the different bikes, I felt pretty confident. I was just hoping the bike would hold together. It ran 6 or 7 laps in practice, 2 practice sessions, and everything seemed okay. So wait for the flag man. Did a good jump, but I missed the gear. 2 bikes in front of me. Should have grabbed third gear. First gear didn't even work. So I start out in second. There's a Triumph in front, and now a guy on a DTX bike. I think this is only a 250, but it was set up. He had Goodyear tires front and back. I didn't know that at the time. All I know is a bike right in front of me. I'm now in third place on the track. And that Torque Oil Triumph, putting that 100% synthetic in there. The engine's running great. Trying to catch this Triumph, another twin. But something happened. He slowed down. You look right behind me now. It's Craig Brecken. Craig Brecken, one of our friends from Vintage Road Racing, is now back to third. Number 2, Dave DeVillet from Cedar Springs, also on a BSA, is running right behind me. But I want to get this guy in front of me. I didn't know he wasn't in our class. It didn't dawn on me at a newer DTX bike. And I did have a little bit more power in the straightaways. It was a matter of getting through these slippery groove corners. Running a groove has never been one of my favorite. As I keep chasing this bike, I think it was only a 250, so I should have been able to pass him. But I could never get the good drive. Whoa, number 2 went down. That's David Billiquette from Cedar Springs. Now running second behind me is Craig Brecken. Third place, Brian Hatfield. Fourth place, Chuck Kidd. So I went on to win the heat. Go talk to the track owner and promoter.
We're going to break it. One thing that they've had coming up at I-96 is you're going to have the first national short track in Michigan. Has it been 20 years? Because I remember the last national was at Livonia, right, at the mile?
Well, you know, it's not a short track, it's a half mile. The AMA originally came to us wanting to run a short track here, but we decided that due to the fact we run this half mile so much, we talked the AMA into having a big half mile race here. And yeah, the last big track national in Michigan, I think, was at the DRC down in Livonia back in '71. So it's been quite a while for Michigan waiting.
Right, I remember when I was only a novice rider and I wanted to be an amateur, I went, or junior it was back then, and I went to Norville, had a couple races, but they were never national. So this is the first time you're going to be able to come up here at 4th of July weekend and see some half-mile races. So do you already get the pre-entries? Is everybody coming from throughout the country?
Everybody that's competing for national championship points will be here. Parker, Carr, Springsteen, Graham, Ronnie Jones, they'll all be here. Kevin Atherton we expect to be here, and anybody who's anybody in professional dirt track racing. This is a full Grand National Camel Pro event, and they'll all be here.
And last year when we covered it was only a 600 national, so the guys only riding 600 single-cylinder bikes. On the half mile, they'll be running the 750 Harleys, and there's still some guys running 750 Hondas.
Yeah, there's a lot of RS 750 Hondas out there, I think.
Now,
Ronnie Jones
can they run a 600 in that race too?
No 600s. They'll all be twin-cylinder 750s out here that night.
All right, so you'll get to hear the real freight train racing, the real roaring thunder show.
You know, the other big roar that we'll have is that we got the 883 Harley Sportster National Championship series coming through.
I do have an 883 lined up, thanks to, and maybe I'll come and even race that night.
People want to hear some 600s. We've got an invitational race for professional riders in and around Michigan. We've had a qualification series all summer here leading up to that, and the I-96 Marine Transport Invitational will be 600cc bikes for pro-am riders around here in Michigan.
Okay, so that's July 3rd. Now, you're going to have a rain date on the 4th if it rains? Or?
We run 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Saturday night, July 3rd. If it rains, it's not going to rain, but if it does, it'll be 8 o'clock Sunday night, July the 4th.
And I'm going to be here because we're also going to be running at Groton Raceway that weekend. So let's go back to some of the racing action and see what it's going to look like here on the 4th of July weekend.
Now we're going to take a look at the Pro-Am Final. The fastest race of the night. Ooh, jumping up front to number 91. 91X, that's Jack Meyer Jr. from Midland, Michigan on that Woodrow Tech, second place. 24, Brian Familia from Waterford. It's like Dave Kalenda is moving up now. Dave Kalenda is moving up, but so is number 24. Number 24, that's Brian Familia. Brian's moving on the inside. On the inside, makes a clean pass. Moves right back out in the groove. Dave Kalenda is trying to move down on the inside now. Brian Vanilla from Waterford on a 600 Harley Davidson. Jack Meyer still second, but making a move now. Dave Kalenda.
That 750 twin just did not have enough for these 600cc singles. Going on to pick up the win was Brian Vermilia. Jack Meyer was second, and Dave Kalenda finished in third place. And now it's time for that vintage motorcycle final.
Well, this is the last race for me for this month. Bad mistake on the line. Came out in second, missed third. Finally got in fourth gear when I went into the turn 3. Look in the back, there I am. I think I'm ahead of one guy, but everybody else left me on the line. Here you can see me, I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th place. But leading up front, the DTX is Chad Davis, and he's on a Suzuki, the 250 Suzuki, but he's not in the class. This is the vintage class. So we got 2 BSAs. Everybody move on the outside. I think I just passed one guy. I think I just passed another guy right there. I got 2 guys down that straightaway. Now in front of me is Craig Brecken. Right in front of Craig Brecken. Also on a BSA is Dave Villaquette. Those are the people I'm racing with. Try the inside line here. The groove is getting more slippery to me. I don't know, some people say they like these tacky grooves, but I hate them. Trying to make the move on Dave Brecken, vintage motorcycle racer. We watched the winner of DTX, number 34, Chad Davis. I just got around Brecken. Let's listen to Tom call this.
Hanging out for dear life as we into the footprints up and down. Dan Schmitt on that vintage Triumph motorcycle, running second on the inside, but he thinks he might be able to run down this Chad Davis. Let's see what Dan Schmitt can do as he steps back for Chad Davis. They are not racing
To tell you the truth, I'm having a gas. I want to catch this guy in front of me. I can't stand. Wasn't going to let him beat me again, and I'm starting to get this track dialed in, but you might have missed it, but Craig Brecken took my high line, and now Craig Brecken's running second, but kaboom. What is happening to me? Well, from dirt track racing, if it wasn't for bad luck, I would have no luck at all. I blew the seal in the transmission and soaked the back wheel. Special thanks to Grace and Mike from Mike's Cycle Station, Comstock Park, for helping put this whole production together, especially Grace. Chad Davis went on to win. Special thanks to the crew from Wyoming Access TV, Mark, Tim, Bob, Howard, and Tom. Music for the show provided by Engine, as recorded at Fireside Studios, Westchester, Illinois.
This show is dedicated to Mike Babka, a great motorcycle racer, a great motorcycle shop owner, and a great friend of mine. Godspeed, Mike. contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I look forward to your comments, and remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action.